Hey, Facebook. Good evening. It is Wednesday, October the 3rd. I am here. It's 10 o'clock or 10 something, and we are live. I thank you all for joining. Thank you for tuning in. This is Convo with Nikki, and of course, I'm your host, Nikki. What is it? What is Convo with Nikki? Where did it come from? So, Convo with Nikki is actually 2 years old. It's a place where transformation happens through transparency. I'm super transparent, and some of my viewers are as well. We give space and give a platform for people to be able to come on and talk and share their views through typing while I'm talking. And it can be super interactive. But ultimately, I understand that I share my life and I share things about me, even when I'm uncomfortable, to help somebody else. So that's what it is. We have a topic usually on Mondays and Wednesdays. The topic is whatever I kind of choose. And then on Fridays, hey, Sue. On Fridays, it is chosen by the viewer. So Friday morning, I put up a post, and then I allow all of the viewers to come on and kind of like give their own topic, and I just pick one. This is a place like literally where everything comes from my heart. So I kind of just spill my beans of whatever the topic is. And what I've learned is that I add the topic to my live, so people kind of know and have a thought process of what they're kind of getting into when they get on here. Like I said, I've been doing this for 2 years now. And it has become a place of peace for me. Like when I used to get on here and be super heavy. Sometimes I will, but when I release or when I talk, I kind of leave in a piece. Hopefully leaving a piece of me on here to help somebody else. Hey, Kim. Hopefully you enjoyed your vacation. We missed you. Hey, Mama. Hey, Miss Jefferson. And so all I ask is if you come on and this is your first time kind of watching Convo with Nikki, like I said, we've been on for 2 years. I ask that you put that this is your first time on. If you get something, share it, invite other people, because ultimately this platform only grows when you share. So if you get something, share it. If you enjoy, even if you don't like it and you think it's not for you, but you think that somebody else can get something, invite them to come on. It's a public place. I don't have restrictions on who can watch. Share. That's all I ask, that you share. Like, hearts, all of those things when you agree. Even if you disagree, put your point of view on here. This is literally my opinion, my thought processes, but they're all my thought processes and opinions based on my own experiences. So no, it's not the Bible. No, it's not the sure enough thing. But I also believe that if we endure processes and we go through things, we went through them for a reason. If we came out of them, why not share? Because 9 times out of 10, somebody else is enduring the same things. Hey, sis. Hey, Miss Deborah. Oh, two of my sisters on here. Hey, Sonata. Hey, Nay. I just said y'all name just so y'all know I was talking to both of y'all. But yeah, so not that I have all the answers, but why do we endure and go through as a people, and we see somebody else going through the same things and won't help them and won't offer a hand and won't offer a come up? Or if it was hard and it hurt and it was a rough place, versus judging people enduring those things, why not share how you got through them? We tend to waste so much time focused on where people are versus remembering where we were and then being able to help the person get from where they're at. And so that's what Convo with Nikki is. Not all the answers, just processes and life experiences that I've endured. Hard places, easy places, fun places, because I talk about good stuff on here too. We have happy moments on here. Hey, Mama Cheryl, we talk about, I talk about parenting, relationships, ministry, being a sister, being a mom. I don't even know anybody else who's been on here who knows some of the topics, but we talk about everything, forgiveness, love. Yeah, so it's a plethora. Nothing goes untalked about on here. So if you, like I said, if you have a topic or a thought process that you would like to hear me talk about, Fridays is my viewers' day, so you get to pick. And so yeah. So tonight, I think I put what will you do with your voice, or what does your voice do? Pretty much what I want to talk about today is us having a voice as a person, and then how that voice, when we don't use it, how that trickles down to our children who are watching us, or to the people that we're making impact on. Because a lot of us are leaders, and we tend to miss opportunity to use our voice because of fear, because we don't feel like our voice is worth it. because someone has quieted us before, and we miss opportunity to help healing happen or help growth happen because we won't use our own voice. So what you gonna do with your voice? Hey, Ebony. Hey, Sunny. Hey, Boo. So what are you gonna do with your voice? What are you gonna do with the voice that you have? And once you start to use it and things change or things stay the same, will you continue to speak? Will you continue to use your voice? So it's definitely a place. And so how did I get here? What made this topic the topic for tonight? So advocacy is what got me here. Being able to advocate for yourself, being able to speak up for yourself, being able to say things on your own behalf is powerful. But what tends to happen in a lot of situations, hey Milton, in a lot of situations is, especially when it's a negative connotation, we tend to be quiet because of the perception of other people from what we say. So I have a son who is a little more energetic, for lack of a better word, than my other kids. And the school that he's at, a great school, I'm not going to say the name, but it's a great school. However, this particular child to them was a little out of hand, and their suggestion was we take him to be evaluated to be on meds. And that was the suggestion. And myself and his father denied that, like we did not, and we stood firm in it, that was not going to be the option for him. So we actually talked to our son and asked him his opinion of what he thought. And then we charged him and we spoke to him, and he had his own opinion, his thought process. And we took those things back to the school, and those were his thought processes, his words, his heart, and what he knew he could do. I mind you, that was last year. This is this school year. That particular child now has a 4.0 in that school. And everyone who has seen us in passing celebrates how great he has been. They have noticed the shift and change that he made on his own. And they're excited to have him in the school. So I gave the scenario because I need us to understand that sometimes as parents, we have to step back and evaluate situations for ourselves, and then use our voice to advocate for our kids. And if you don't know, then find you somebody who does. And so sometimes in advocacy or in using our voice, we miss opportunities because we're uneducated or we don't have a thought process of the benefit of it. Because no one listens to us, or at least that's what we think. And then what happens is when we believe that our voice doesn't matter, we've trickled down those same thought processes to our children who now have lost their voice, which then sets a generation of that I'm going to teach my next kid, or they're going to teach their kids that they don't have a voice. And they were sitting as a people, and the only thing that we can do is boycott once things are hard. Now we're making this big scene once stuff gets rough. But if I had advocated for myself before it got to here, what could I have changed? There is a power when you open up your mouth and you speak up for yourself. However, society has taught us or has kind of given us a platform or a place where your voice doesn't matter. Or when you come, you're going to be questioned and judged. Because we also have had situations where we needed to depend on the judicial system to defend one of my kids. And because the laws and things are not set up for her to pretty much have a voice, her voice was lost. The only reason her voice remained is because I said I was her voice. I became her voice. I became I became a loud noise on her behalf. And so sometimes we tend to silence what we don't understand instead of sitting down and having conversation in a place to gain understanding. So there's a power that happens when you use your voice. The question is, are you making a bunch of noise or are you using your voice? And a lot of times we can't hear the message for the noise. So when you start talking and no one is paying you any attention, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's nothing being said, because you've made a choice you've been the noise for so long that now where you want to have validity and you actually have a point, no one is listening because you did not value. Hey, Brandy, because you did not value your voice in the season where people were listening. Yet now here you come now and your expectation is, oh, listen to me because I'm talking and I have a point. But no one is going to take you serious because you have spent so much time being the voice that goes unheard. The annoying thing, the nagging thing. Like, even if we want to talk about relationships, if because, I can kind of make a topic fit where it needs to fit. Hey, Juju, when it comes to relationship, and if you're the nagging girlfriend or the nagging husband, and you don't have nothing, and everything you say is a criticism and a breakdown and a bust down of the person and who they are, and then when you come with some valid points or you come with some sustainability, you're missed because you've been the thing that made the noise. What are you gonna do with your voice? How are you gonna use it for uplifting and a benefit if you've always been the person who breaks down and tear down? Can people change? Y'all can answer that. Do you believe that people have an opportunity to change? No. Do you believe that people can change? And then once they change, do you give them opportunity to be the thing that they say they are? Or do you continue to have the judgment of what they used to be in their voice, right? What they used are you able to hear a shift in their voice when they change? So if there was a person who has let's see. I will use Trump, but that's a bit extreme to be able to hear him different. But I guess that's prime example. So Trump has been in our ear for the past, 2 years, 3 years. And literally a lot of us have felt that nothing that he says is valid. So a lot of the things and a lot of the points that he makes has become noise to our ears. So today we had this big, I don't know if you all got it, but the alert system that went off today. And the alert system is set up really, I think, because we are going to go under attack, and that's technology has become our new everyday. So they're taking this thing, and the goal is that this will be the way to alert us, the Amber Alert, and anything else that happens, we'll immediately get it. Valid, something that he is doing to me for the first time that makes some sense. Let's make sure all this stuff works before we have something attack or we have a moment and then realize nothing works. Okay, fine. But did anybody hear him talk about it? Probably not, because he's talked about so much noise. He's made so much ruckus before now that now his word to us when it becomes our life is not valid. It's not valid. So be careful of how you've been using your voice. And if you want to change, when you understand that when you go to a shifting place, everyone isn't going to probably take you serious. Is it their fault? No. Did you create this space? Probably. So that means that now you're going to have to do the work to make your voice be a change agent. Because there's power in your voice when you use it for the things of good. There's also power in your voice when you use the things for negativity. It doesn't go either way. The hope for is that we're using our voices to bring people up and pull them up and enforce and invoke a change or bring attention to or bring some awareness to. But this is the same voice that can cut, break, beat down, tear down a grown man from the top to the bottom, tear down the strongest woman with nothing, no tools, no nothing. That sticks and stones may break my bones and words will never hurt me. It's false. Because although it would be nice for us to wake up and say, oh, I don't care what the world think, I don't care what the world see, a lot of us get dressed because of what someone may say to us or what someone has said to us in the past. Or you too big to wear that, so you second guess how you dress. Or you not cute enough to wear that, so you second guess how you get dressed. Or that makes you look inappropriate, so you second guess how you're going to prepare your dress. So that's a prime example of what people say. Their voices have played a major role in how you react and how you respond in your life. So now what? What are you going to do with your voice to invoke change, to invoke a different process, to advocate for yourself, to teach your children how to advocate for themselves? How can you use your voice for a better day? Or do you? Or have you become so comfortable in your silence and in your noise that that's going to be the safe place for you? That's the comfortable place for you? And then you're wondering why everything around you seems to look the same way. When we continue to say that there's life and power in our tongue, which means that our tongue has the power to change any situation that we have, Yes, the work has to be done, but what are you going to say different? What are you going to speak different? What are you going to speak into the lives of yourself and those that are connected to you? What are you saying out loud? And then what's manifesting? Because 9 times out of 10, what you've said, you're going to eventually see. So be careful about what you say before you see what you say. Hard place to be. When you start looking around at your life and at your children and at your spouse and those things that are connected to you, and you finally see that they're manifesting all of the negative things you said in the midst of an argument because you said them out loud. So then they had to be accountable to the things that you said. What are you going to do with your voice? What are you going to do with your voice in a room where there's noise? Are you able to go in a room and start talking and people listen and change happens? Or do you go in a room and no one even notices you? Or when you speak, no one pays attention because you've lost your own voice because you don't even listen to you? You know, they always say like the squeakiest wheel. No, what is it? Y'all know. The squeakiest wheel gets the most attention. What if you heard a squeaky voice in a room? Would you trust it? Would you listen? That goes both ways, the voice and the ear. A lot of times the voice becomes noise because the ears don't or doesn't or wasn't listening. There is work that needs to be done on both parts, even in the noise. Even in the noise, there can be things said of power. There could be. Absolutely. But who is going to listen when there's noise? There can be valid points, but if you're in the noise and you're the noise, no one is listening. Now, if you can go into noise and shift the atmosphere or shift the room, then that's a whole different place because ultimately the noise will come to the voice of change. If you go into a room of a room full of kids in a kindergarten class, they're all yelling, they're all talking, they're all doing whatever, and you just start talking to blend in with the noise, then you go unheard. But when your voice is used as an agent of change, it commands a room. The children then listen, then something happens. There's a difference. When your voice is the noise, you may get attention, but you may not be heard. So we have a rattling window at our job. The window it just rattles. And it kind of rattles to a place where it's like really, really annoying. And it's noticed. Everybody hear it until somebody said, can somebody go fix the window? And so it's like this piece of gauze we have that quiets the window and doesn't make any more noise. So you put the gauze in. And then the window is now not heard. In the midst of a room, there had to be something that caused that thing, that noise, because it got some attention, but the attention was for it to shut up. So just because you got attention doesn't necessarily mean that they want to hear you. In that most people don't want to hear noise. The noise is a thing that's annoying. The noise is a thing that does not shift an atmosphere. What it does is it make people leave. You ever been in a room with noise? You put on some noise, make some noise. All the kids in the room playing 35 instruments that's not making a good sound. It's noise. But when you add an agent of change to calm down the noise, so now I can hear a voice. I can hear some sound on the sound wave. I can hear now clearly the words that are being said. And now your voice is resonating and it's not being lost within the noise. So what are you going to do with your voice? How are you going to be heard? What is it that you want people to listen to? Are you sure of are you even sure of the power that your voice has? Or have you been quieted for so long and been set in a corner for so long and been so, misunderstood for so long when you talk that you decided not to talk? Or have you been speaking to deaf ears who have made a choice to not listen because they're so used to hearing you bring noise? And so my question earlier was, do you believe that people can change? So in the midst of noise, can that noise now be a thing that I'm now hearing? I'm willing to hear your voice because it now has a power to command me to hear. When you go hear a preacher, most preachers who kind of babble, most people don't listen. But if you listen to a preacher, he don't have to yell. Some preachers are great teachers, so they don't do a lot of hooping and hollering, but they have a voice that can command a room that requires you to listen. There's a power like that lies in most of us. We tend not to use it because someone once upon a time told us that our voice was not enough, that we weren't enough, and nobody wanted to hear what we had to say. My hope for is that this helps to validate someone in their voice and that they use it to stand up for something, to speak out against something, to speak up for themselves in a situation where they may have felt like they were lost. And we tend to not think or realize that the power that we really have been looking to others for and leaders for and other people that we, I guess, sit up high. We've looked to other people for that when that power resided in us. And we can speak for ourselves. And you can be the agent of change in your own life. And you don't have to wait for someone to speak on your behalf. Because there's a power that happens when you speak for yourself. And you don't have to be a genius. I'm not talking about you have to be well versed. I'm saying that you have to be able to have an understanding of whatever it is that you want to talk about. Whatever it is that you're trying to stand for. Whatever it is that you want to advocate for. But if you believe in it enough, your voice can command a room if you stand strong and trust it. And I don't want you to be lost. I don't want us to get lost and become quiet in a room full of noise and miss an opportunity to change. Kind of like what I do here. You know, when we endure processes and we go through things, we tend to make it harder on the other person who we see enduring processes, right? We kind of make it harder for them because in our minds, we just sit back and watch them. Look at them. Or you see them going into the brick wall you went in. Look at them. They're going right into that brick wall. Because I know there's a brick wall there. But if I use my voice to speak to them, not dictate, not yell, not fuss, because there has to be a temperament in your voice. But I'm going to go to them and I'm going to understand, let me explain something to you. When you continue to walk this way, there's a brick wall there. Now you make choice. You can continue to go to that brick wall and that's fine. But I'm letting you know that I see what you're doing. And with my voice, I'm going to explain to you a process. Now what they do with it is on them. Hopefully that will let you, that your voice matters to someone other than just yourself. But until you know what your how valuable your voice is, it can forever be a thing that holds you back from growth because of fear of saying the things that you don't think people are listening to. So what will you do with your voice? What will you change? Or will you continue to be a part of the noise or sit in a room in a corner quiet, even though you're the answer in the room? Even though you're the thing that's needed for the room to change. You could be holding up processes right now because you have decided to be quiet. Because you've given power to something or someone who told you before that your voice wasn't enough. That your voice didn't matter. And it does. And it can change. And it can shift the atmosphere. And it can change rooms. And it can change lives. If you just open your mouth. And then trust yourself. Are you going to use your voice for negative or positive? To build and uplift or to tear down? Because all of those things lie in your voice. Don't become the noise. Be the voice in the room that can change. You don't have to be the negative voice in the room. You can be a positive voice in the room and make the same force. What are you going to do with your voice? Build up something. Change something. Share your story. Share a part of your life. Share your experience. Use your voice to exemplify that even through all things I came through, so can you. Don't be quieted by the things that have hurt you or broken you to a place. Use it and share it. I ain't saying you got to share in a room full of 300 people. I'm saying that your voice can shift a change in a room where there is brokenness. And it can build a room where there are people that are lost. What are you going to do with your voice? I choose to use mine. Positively. Have I used it negatively? Yes. Will I probably make some of the same mistakes? Probably. My reality is I made choice to advocate for those things that are close to me. Because just because someone has an opinion of what you may need, if you don't speak for you, you'll continue to take what they give you. Could have very well took him to the doctor. Could have very well got him the medicine that they say was going to help. Could have very well done so. Probably would have been a lot easier than us doing the techniques that we do now. But my reality and the thought process for him was, Mom, I don't want that. So you allow your kids to use their voice. Once they offer you something, hold them accountable to the choices that they make. And then work with them together to meet the things that they say they want. Advocacy. Teach them how to advocate for themselves. Stand up for themselves. Even in a room full of people that look like giants to them. Teachers and principals. They deserve to have a voice. But that voice is only as great as the person who can teach them how to use it. So I have an 8th grader with a 4.0. No meds. And it's been successful the entire school year so far. And will be till the end. Because I've just used my voice to speak positivity into his. What are you going to do with your voice? Have you ever advocated for yourself? Have you ever advocated for the people that are close to you? And if you haven't, why not? Do you know how? Are you willing to learn? What will you use your voice for? Good night.